Hi, welcome to this episode of Grad Student Tips. I am Leigh Hall, PhD. If you have questions that you would like to see addressed on this channel, please feel free to email me, leahall39@gmail.com. And also check out my blog, leahall.wordpress.com, where I discuss issues of teaching and learning in higher education. Now, today's tip is really one that's beneficial if you've got limited writing experience, and it's going to focus on publishing with others. And for this episode, I'm going to assume a couple of things. I'll do some other videos on it with some different scenarios. So for this one, I'm going to assume, first of all, that you're the lead. Okay, so you might be a grad student or maybe you're a beginning assistant professor, but I'm going to assume that you've got an idea for an article and you're going to be the first author on that article. And what you're trying to do is think about how to identify other people, right, to work with. So we'll talk about the nuances of this in other videos. Right now, what I want to do is give you sort of a big picture perspective on how to publish with others and help you identify some of the key steps that you're going to need to go through. So you're the first author. You've got an idea about what you want to do. It might be, for example, you want to do a literature review, or maybe you've got a really good idea for an essay. I had an essay that as an assistant professor that I partnered with another assistant professor that we wrote and published in the Harvard Ed Review. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a research project is my point, right? You can find ways to publish that don't have to be about going out and collecting data from people, okay? So it could be a literature review, it could be an essay. So you've got this idea, and then what you want to do is identify relevant people to work with. Now, how many people, of course, I can't tell you that because it's going to depend on the situation, and each person that you invite to work should fill, a particular spot in the manuscript, right? The more people that you get, obviously, the more you have to keep track of. And if you've never published with others before, I would say one or two people. So there's 2 or 3 of you total on the piece would be plenty to try this out the first time. So figure out who makes sense here. It's not about who's my buddy. It could be that your buddy makes sense to work with you on this piece, but you want to think about who's really going to be filling in the gaps. Who's really going to be a good person that makes sense, that's going to be interested in this line of work that you've got going on here. Make sure that this person, whoever you pick to publish with, you want to have a sense that they have a good record of meeting deadlines. If you've never written with them before, you're not going to know what they're really like until you get in the thick of it. But hopefully you know if they have a good record of meeting deadlines and getting work done. Because it's not just about picking the nicest, the funnest, the smartest people. You want good people that you enjoy working with, but you want also to make sure that these are people that get their stuff done. Because you can be the smartest person, but if you don't get your stuff done, it's not going to get done and it's not going to matter, okay? So you've picked somebody out, you talk to them about the piece, how you're envisioning it, you guys talk it out, agree on how it's going to proceed. And then right away, you need to decide author order. Now, if it's just you and one other person and you're inviting them to join you on a piece, then it should be clear that they're going to be second author, but you should just say, hey, I'm hoping that you'll be second author on this piece with me. Okay, if you're going to have 3 or more authors, then again, you need to be clear on that. And you might have in your head who you want to be second author because you want them to do particular things, and who you want to be third author because you want them to do particular things, and that's fine. And you can be very explicit with them about that and see how they feel. We'll talk in a separate video about author order and how you establish that. But what I want you to know is you need to decide up front what the author order is, and then what it means to be in that role. So as first author, if that's you, what does that mean? Okay. If you're second author, what does that mean? What are you agreeing to do? And third author, and so on, and then set some due dates. Now, those due dates might change a little bit, plus or minus. It doesn't have to be super hard and fast, but you want to have a good general idea of when you're going to get things done. All right, so that is an overview of how you get started publishing with others. And I'm going to be doing some additional videos here talking more about authorship roles. What do you do to help things go well? What do you do when things go bad? Because that can happen. But hopefully this gives you a good idea of what to do or things you need to agree on to get it going. So If you've got experience publishing with others, I would love to hear about that. Questions that you have, put it in the comments section. Subscribe to this channel so that you can stay up to date on going forward with additional videos and getting help and feedback to have a successful academic career.